Mm, mm. Solo. Toe Tap Live. Uh, uh. Let's go, baby. Welcome back to another episode of Toe Tap Live, baby. Toe Tap Podcast is back for its eighth installment of this series. Things look a little different, okay? This is a little different situation. Had a couple of the fellows unable to film tonight and other scheduling conflicts later on in the week, and we want to get it out on the same time, kind of. So I'm going to be ripping a solo podcast this week, fellas. So, might be a little unique. I'm going to try to fill in the dead air, but just bear with me. Got some things to talk about, got some things to rant about, specifically, on the Viking side. We'll talk about that stuff. We'll save it a little bit. We're going to talk about this last week of Thanksgiving. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Some good games, 3 good football games on Thanksgiving, which was fun. Got to watch all of those, spend some time with some friends and family. First off, that good game, Packers Lions. Got to have respect to the NFC North. Packers got it done, man. Packers are good. It sucks to say that out of my mouth. I wish the Lions got them. That's just how it weighs out. But the Packers, they're a force to be reckoned with. You go into the next slate. Yeah, I mean, you had the Bengals and the Ravens the late night. That was a fun game to watch. Bengals, man, with Joe Burrow, they're pretty dangerous, brother, So, but other than that, I mean, Thanksgiving games were a good time, but we had to wait till Sunday. And, I was optimistic. I was optimistic about my brother Max Brosmer. I thought we were going to get a little bit of that Brady, Bledsoe, maybe. I heard that wasn't a good take, but that's what I've seen a lot. Seeing a young guy with not the same opportunities as a high round draft pick coming in and taking the job. And he shit himself, I would like to say. Absolute dumpster fire of a game from the Minnesota Vikings. It sucked. He didn't perform the way we should have. Some things I do want to, obviously he didn't perform. He didn't make some of the throws that he shouldn't. It did look a little on the trend up right away, but that pick 6 really put the fork in it. I would have really loved to see some play calling that kind of supported Brosmer, get him out of the pocket, get him moving, and we kind of saw that earlier in the year with J.J. McCarthy. We did some play, but we kind of relied on a run game, and we don't have a run game. Like, it's not working. So we didn't try to move J.J. McCarthy. We didn't even try to move Max Brosmer. So there's some KOC questions to ask also. I'm not turning on my head coach yet, but there are some questions there to be answered about whether he can develop this young quarterback. He's the quarterback whisperer, but he hasn't had to whisper to a rookie quarterback yet. He's only been whispering to, veteran quarterbacks that have been in this business, been in the game for, a long time. Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, turned him around a little bit. And seeing Sam Darnold at the Seahawks, that guy is good. He flipped his career around, and he had a great game against us. But we do see J.J. McCarthy coming back this week. He's out of concussion protocol. Obviously, the Brosmer experiment did not work, which, as an optimistic Vikings fan, we were hoping it was. But if we're being realistic, we should have seen the writing on the wall. We're a bad football team this year, guys. It sucks to say. It's been a while since we've kind of been out of that playoff hunt. We've always had a little bit of opportunity with some of these seasons, but like this one, we're chalked, man. The NFC North is good. The Bears are number 1 in the whole NFC division, standing at 9-3, which is impressive in itself. Ben Johnson, I didn't think he could really, get that done. But Caleb Williams and him they're firing on all cylinders, man. They're playing really well. If they could keep that 1 seed, I would be surprised. I would think another team in the NFC, such as you might see Seattle sneak up there. You might see, I took a picture of the playoff picture here, but You have the Rams that are going to sneak up there. They're 9-3 also, but just by the matchups, they did put Chicago there. I would see the Rams probably taking that 1 seed. We'll see though. Um, and then you have Philadelphia at the 3 seed. They're playing solid football. Somehow Tampa is still at the 4 seed in the NFC. And then Seattle's also sitting at 9-3 in the 5th seed. So those could easily flop around in the next coming weeks, but we're really getting to the playoff hunt. San Francisco at the 7, and then Green Bay at the 6 with an 8-3-1. So it's very neck and neck to see those seeds change. I think this is the NFC playoff picture we're going to see. I think those are the teams we're going to see in the NFC, but some of the seeds could flip around. If you look on the other side, the dynasty, it's back, man. Vrabel taking over the New England Patriots. They're solid, man. 11-2, playing solid football. No one's astounding, but they're just playing well-rounded football right now. At the 2 seed, you have Denver. Bo Nix playing really good. Indianapolis at the 6. Jacksonville has the 3 right now. We'll talk a little bit later whether we're going to do buy or sell with some of these playoff teams. And then Los Angeles at 8-4. Kind of a scary time for them. Hopefully they can hang on to it. Justin Herbert out, getting surgery on his hand. Trey Lance, North Dakota / Minnesota boy, taking the reins there. So we'll see what that looks like. And then Baltimore sneaking in at the 4 seed, which with a loss to Cincinnati, it could change some things up with Pittsburgh sitting at 6-6. Also, that could flop either way. And then Buffalo at the 7 with an 8-4, just based on divisions here. So playoff picture is heating up. We could see a lot of things change, but kind of went off on a tangent there. Kind of snap back to the Vikings a little bit. We're not going to spend too much time on them because it's freaking over, man. It really is. So our defense sucks. Our run game sucks. Our quarterback situation sucks. Sucks to see Justin Jefferson not being able to perform, seeing guys drop balls. Obviously, that's all wraps. But now we have to look into the future, look into our off season, see what we're going to do. A lot of heat on Kwesi right now, just from the performance of his signings and his drafts, his draftees. Not a good look for him right now. We got a lot of money that's going to hit. We're going to have a huge cap hit with some of these guys in the next coming years. And if we can't turn it around now, it's going to be some dark days for us Viking fans, which I don't want to happen. But, I'm starting to learn a little bit. You got to look at the writing on the wall, and you can't be so optimistic. But next year's our year. So that's going to be I'm all in every year. I'm all in every year. Next year's our year. Let's go do something. Obviously, yeah, JJ hasn't performed. JJ McCarthy has not performed this year, but it's a process. We knew it was. Hopefully next year, maybe he can come around. Still a young dude. You've seen it. We talk about it every week. You see quarterbacks resurging, finding their career, maybe in their second year, third year, finding it down the road. So there's still optimism in that hindsight. Vikings news, we did waive Adam Thielen. Adam asked management to be waived, which I understand. I mean, he's an older guy, wants to go try to win a championship, and he's not going to win it with us. Sucks. But he's waived. He did not clear the waivers. He got picked up right away by the Pittsburgh Steelers, which good pickup for them. Not sure if they're going to be a contender. Mike Tomlin sticking to his guns, and he's probably going to go 9-8 this year. Maybe make the playoffs, maybe not. But yeah, Adam Thielen signs with them. Steelers also waived Darius Slay, which I thought was interesting. He's another older guy, DB. He didn't clear waivers. He got picked up by the Bills, which the Bills need some help in the secondary with some injuries going on right now. So Darius Slay signs with the Bills, which I thought was pretty interesting. That could be a positive for them. I got right into it. Forgot to introduce my beer, ladies and gentlemen. Found this one deep in the depths of the fridge, cracking a Busch Light Lime for our little convo tonight. Yeah, so looking forward with our picks. None of the guys, we didn't send them in yet, so then we'll have to recap it next week probably, but I have my picks. Not another good week. Another not an another not good week from your boy, okay? 2 losses, 1 win. Had the Lions -2.5. That's an L. Browns +4.5. Shedeur couldn't get it done. Shouldn't have hopped on that bandwagon. That's an L. But I did get Buffalo -3.5. Thank you, Josh Allen. We'll drink to that. And then, it was kind of a tough week for some matchups. We're seeing some of that end of the season, some teams chalking it up. Some teams, not playing well. A lot of injuries going on. We're seeing a lot of, making chicken salad out of chicken shit from a lot of teams right now just to stay alive. And yeah, we're seeing that a lot. So I went 1-2 this week, which sucks. This week I'm gonna go with mine. I'm gonna go first. Seattle versus the Falcons. I'm gonna take Seattle -7. They're playoff team. Sam Darnold, keep riding that train. Then I'm gonna take Miami versus the Jets, a little bit of a toilet bowl, but Miami's having a little bit of a resurgence. They're winning games. After they fired their GM, they're really performing really well, to be honest. So I'm gonna take them -2.5 against the Jets. Miami could be a spoiler, towards the end of the year. They could spoil some of these teams with their schedule coming up. They got some playoff contenders coming up, so we could see that. And then I'm gonna take this is a big matchup in the AFC. Could change around a lot of seeds after this week, which is the Colts versus the Jaguars. I'm going to take the Colts -1.5 to win this big one. Daniel Jones and their defense. Hey, I mean, I think they're going to get it done. They're going to blitz the crap out of um, Trevor Lawrence. I know they won't have Sauce Gardner. I think it was an Achilles for him, which sucks. Hate to see that non-contact injury. Sauce Gardner is probably going to be out. He was their new guy, and it didn't work out for them, obviously. But yeah, those are my picks. See if we can go 3-0. We're really shitty. Looking a lot like the Vikings. So that brings my record to 4-11. Not a good look. Probably gonna get fired, but that's okay. I mentioned earlier, with this Justin Herbert stuff. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but I was watching some of the clips after, and they were really going after that hand. They kind of knew going in that this hand was injured, and there were some cheap shots on his hand, and that obviously did not help him out, leading to him having to get surgery. It wasn't a major surgery. He should be looking to get back. It's in his left hand also, but he's not going to be back this week. And Trey Lance is going to have to perform, with the Chargers holding a playoff seed right now with a little bit of a slide they have going on. They're 8-4. You could see them possibly sliding a little bit if Trey Lance doesn't perform. I think he could do okay. It'll be fun to watch either way. I believe they play here. Let me just pull up who they play real quick. I think it's a division matchup if I'm correct. You're probably yelling at me right now. You probably know it, but I don't. Click on NFL. And then the Chargers, they play Monday night against the Eagles. Shit. So that's going to be that's a spotlight for Trey Lance, man. Tough defense too. They're probably going to blitz the crap out of him, throw things at him. It could be a shit show for the Chargers, but I would love to see Trey Lance succeed. I mean, obviously, we kind of that's another comparison you can look at what we were hoping for with the Brosmer JJ McCarthy thing. You saw Brock Purdy come in for Trey Lance, so that could be that we wish that was a possibility. But Trey Lance, his career is going to be a backup in the NFL, and he's going to have to win big games like this late in the season when maybe a quarterback goes down. So if he performs, he's just going to keep patting his resume and looking good there. But yeah, from the NFL standpoint, it's going to be a fun couple weeks. You might see some coaches fired. You might see some guys coming back from injury. The playoff race is going to heat up. I hate to see the Bears at the 1 seed because one of my buddies is a huge Bears fan, and I'm always hearing that stuff. I talked a lot of shit before the season, and he said, "Oh, the Vikings suck. They're going to be bottom of the NFC North," and I was like, "Hell no." And truth hurts sometimes. Truth does hurt sometimes, and you hate to see it. But yeah, so the week in the NFL, obviously without my co-host, it's hard to keep conversation going about some things and some topics. So I'm just gonna kind of do a breeze through of what I wanted to talk about, and might be a shorter little version of the podcast, but we can move on to a little bit of college football. So obviously the big news, as an Ole Miss fan, I was kind of sad to see. Kind of controversial, some people would say. It's a huge news. We're gonna see this from we're going to be looking back 10 years from now and see like that was crazy, which it was crazy. Lane Kiffin taking his contract, going to LSU. And the big part of me which hurts is he's not able to coach the rest of the season with the Rebels for their historic run right now. They're in a playoff run, they're a national championship contender. I hope the boys can respond and still, be successful. They got a really good, their DC's taken over. He's a great coach. I think he's going to do fine, but he's taken over in a full-time capacity. They're not even going to open it up next year is what the athletic director is saying. I don't know if that's entirely truthful, but he's looking like the new head cheese at Ole Miss. So, but Lane Kiffin, lucrative offer from LSU, couldn't turn it down. I was hoping Ole Miss there was rumors that they countered it. So he did have a choice to stay, and he left. With his resume, he is kind of flaky, um, which you could have kind of seen it coming. He's going to go take the big bucks. He's going to go. I was hoping, I know it's probably not really a lateral move, maybe a downgrade, but I would call it like kind of a lateral move that he's making. So I didn't really like it, to be honest. But the way the schedule is, I was listening to the Pat McAfee show. They interviewed who's head coach, Texas Tech's head coach, and he had a good point about the scheduling. Like it's fucked. The scheduling is fucked because you're forcing the hand of coaches that maybe might want to leave, and with the transfer portal window being open and when it closes, you're not able to recruit the transfer portal when you move schools. So you can't finish out the year with the school you're at. You're going to have to go to this school if you want to build a team for next year. So like that's one of the reasons Lane Kiffin, obviously had to go to LSU, because if he wants to field the championship roster next year, he has to be able to recruit in the transfer portal, and it sucks that the NCAA can't freaking fix that. It's simple, man. Like it's freaking simple. And even with the playoffs, like like high schools do it easier. It's really just, it's simplified. It's easy to change, but they're not going to change it because all this how we do it, whatever. It sucks. And you see Texas doing it right. You see D2 doing it correct, like with the playoff schedule. Like we'd start playoffs now. You play playoffs through, you open the transfer portal at the end, everything would work out. But no, that's too easy. They're not going to do that shit, which sucks. But um, in my opinion, I don't think the 12-team playoff is going to be a thing after this year. I think they have to increase that. I could see it going to 16 because they're realizing like, okay, yeah, FCS is doing it right, and you're going to see these teams with that playoff picture. Like you have these championship teams on the outside looking in right now because of the losses they have. So Texas is at number 13 and they're on the outside looking in. And coach, what's his name? I forget his name, but the head coach, Skarskazian or whatever, I don't even know, whatever. But the head coach for Texas, he said it perfectly right. If I'm going to be knocked for scheduling these high ranked opponents and I'm losing, they have 3 losses. Why would I schedule these opponents? Why can't I'll make a cupcake schedule then, and then I'll go 13-0 and I'll be in the playoff race? No, it doesn't. It sucks. So like, you want to see these head-to-head matchups of high-ranked opponents, really good football teams, and now you're seeing them penalized for playing against better opponents, and you see teams like Bama or teams like Georgia and these higher-ranked teams with more wins because they played an easier schedule. So you can look at it both ways, but you see teams now, they're changing their schedule for next year. They're taking more cakewalks because they realize right now the way the college football committee is that it's I should just schedule shitty opponents and get as many wins as possible, and I'll probably get a look because I'm in a big conference, you know? So, and that I would like to see Texas in. They had that huge win on, I believe it was Friday night. Yeah, and then Texas wins. They beat Texas A&M, and Texas A&M, just because that was their first loss, they're not going to move anywhere. You know, if they want to have it competitive and you want to have the best teams in the playoff, you you can't penalize good teams for losing to really good teams. You know, and we're in Vanderbilt having a historic season. They're probably on the out. They're probably not going to make it because they have too many losses, which is 2 losses. You know, or is it 3, 2 or 3 losses, whatever. But the they're a good team. They should make the playoffs, right? So like if we move to a 16 team, it would make a little more sense. Obviously, you're going to still have that opportunity for some teams being left out. But with the G5 automatic bid, that's a little sketchy. And I mean, North Texas is probably going to get in over um, Vanderbilt or Texas. Like that's wild because obviously they're probably going to go get their shit pumped. But it is cool if we see a Cinderella. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things. Um, if I could think of some other college football stuff that's going on, like you see Texas A&M losing. Are they going to be their quarterback not playing the greatest? He's kind of been on the slide for a little bit. Heisman contender. I don't know anymore. My opinion, give it to Diego Pavia right now. He's a dog. You know, Vanderbilt would not be where they're at if they didn't have Diego Pavia. You can argue that with me, but I mean, Ty Simpson's playing really good too. Indiana quarterback, what forgot his name. I'm so shitty with names, but whatever. Those are the three probably the top contenders. Jeremiah Love, running back, he's probably in there, but he's probably not going to get it. But yeah, Notre Dame. There's a big matchup this week. It's Notre Dame versus, I believe. Let me just fact check this because they were talking about it when I was watching some ESPN. But Notre Dame and it's conference championship week this week. So you have BYU and Texas Tech. I mean, if Tech wins, they're keeping the 4. They moved up to the 4 seed now. They have the bye. I think that'd be huge for them. But they have a tough BYU team coming in. They're going to play that team, and they'll probably be all right. But yeah, so it's already conference championship week. What the hell am I talking about? And then you have the big 1 and 2 matchup. So Indiana, Ohio State, that's going to be freaking bonkers, which kind of sucks. Like, okay, why are they playing? You know, they're playing for the Big Ten championship, obviously. Are they going to move out of the top 4? I would say no. I don't think any one of them deserves because one team's going to have to lose and they shouldn't move out of the top 4 if that happens because this is basically a preview of the national championship we're going to see on Saturday. So Indiana, Ohio State, going to be fireworks. Duke and Virginia in the ACC championship. Didn't really see it coming, but if Duke wins, they're in. And they're going to be in with 5 losses. So it's an automatic bid. They're probably going to be like the lower seed, but they're in if they win, which is crazy. But if Virginia wins, they're in. With the G5, they're going to have to decide between James Madison, North Texas, and Tulane. So you have North Texas, if they win, they're probably in at 12-1. If James Madison's in, they're at 12-1 also if they win. So that's going to be a decision for the CFB to make, obviously, which will be fun to see. We'll probably talk about Army Navy next week. That's on the 13th. So got a little bit of time there. Georgia, Alabama for the SEC championship. It's going to be a great one. I believe Alabama got them earlier in the year, if I'm correct. I got to look back at that, but I think that's what it is. I think Alabama got them earlier in the year. But let's see, last 5, full schedule. Hold on a sec, bear with me here. Georgia. Yeah, so Georgia lost to Bama. Bama got them 24-21 in September, which was a huge game for them to Bama to stay alive. They were sitting at 17 because they had that loss against Florida State at the beginning of the year. So Bama's fought back, beat some really good freaking teams, And, you know, Georgia versus Bama, brother. Let's see it. And then let's see what else I had written down here. Yeah. So, gonna kind of backtrack. Talked about the college football playoff a lot. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be sick, dude. I freaking love it. Check out this hat I got. I got it Black Friday shopping at the Mall of America. I did it. I went for my first time. It actually wasn't crazy. It was pretty fun. It was kind of busy, not crazy. JoJo Siwa was there, and it was fucking ballistic when she came out, dude. It felt like a full concert. I was laughing because I thought it was funny. These like 10-year-old girls screaming at the top of their lungs. It was crazy at the little rotunda in the Mall of America. But yeah, got this Cotton Bowl 1979 Notre Dame versus Indiana. Kind of a crazy hat. Got it for a pretty low price with a buy one get one. Got a cool shirt. Conor McGregor, the double champ. Got one of those, and yeah. So I did want to go back and look at the NFL playoff picture, and we're gonna do a little bit of buy or sell. Okay, so basically, uh, fact or no fact, are they gonna make playoffs? Are they a faker? Are they real? Fraud or not a fraud? We're gonna do some of that. So let me just pull up this playoff picture again, and we're gonna list here. So we'll start with the one seeds. Um, New England in the AFC. I think they're legit. You know, they're a well-rounded football team. They're legit, brother. So like they're I think that is they're a contender, which is crazy. I didn't think I'd say it. Drake May performing really freaking well. Wish the Vikes got him like I wanted to, but nope. Drake May playing super good football, and then we'll move down to the 2 seed Denver. They're good. They're a little shaky. They've been close into some of these games, but I think they're good. Uh, and then we'll go down to the 3 seed Jacksonville. I'm gonna sell on them. I don't think they're gonna do well in the playoffs if they make it. I know they're 8-4, but some of these games have been sketchy. You know, their air attack is crazy. When Brian Thomas actually wants to play football, he's performing really well right now. Earlier in the season, he was dog shit. That's counted for 4 of their losses probably. But their air attack is pretty fun to watch. But I'm gonna sell on them because I'm not entirely confident. And then the 4 seed Baltimore somehow at 6-6. These guys are not a freaking playoff team, man. They're just not it. Lamar is not Lamaring. Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henrying. You know, that's a sell hard. I don't think they're gonna make it. Baltimore, get out of here. 5th seed Los Angeles. Okay. Kellen, you're probably gonna hate me. I'm gonna sell on LA. Without Justin Herbert right now, they might drop one of the Eagles, and he's gonna have to come back, and they're gonna have to fight for this seed in the playoffs. And I don't know if they have it with their defense right now. Their defense is not great. You know, we see them get blown out by I forget who it was the other week, but they got absolutely freaking shit on. I think it was the Jaguars, but they got shit on. They're shaky on the defense side of the ball. Sometimes can't score points. So I'm gonna sell on them. Indianapolis, I'm buying in. I'm buying in for sure on them. They're a fun team, solid defense. If Daniel Jones can perform, he's got a playoff win. Not happy about that playoff win, but he has one. He has experience. So I'm gonna buy in on the Colts there. And then Buffalo. It's kind of interesting here. Like it's kind of iffy. Obviously, you'd want to buy in on the retaining MVP, which I probably am going to buy in on these guys. But it is shaky. Things could go bad. You know, they're shaky on the defensive side of the ball. They're injured. We could see them drop a couple games. I think they're going to make playoffs, but I don't think I would buy in for them going very far just with their history of not being able to get done with that big game. But if they don't have to go against the Chiefs in the playoffs, they could go deep. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to make it. But move over to the NFC side of the ball. Pains me to say this, but Chicago, you're going to lose in the divisional round. Fuck you guys, okay? I'm selling on you guys. Screw you. Chicago's not going to make it. They're the 1 seed. They might drop down to a lower seed. If they're the 1 seed, good for them, whatever. You're getting bumped right away. Screw you guys. 2nd seed. This is me pushing in all my chips. The Los Angeles Rams are freaking good, man. They are good. Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford, probably the MVP right now. Absolute freaking dog, man. I'm all in on the Rams. They're good. They are a Super Bowl contender. Matthew Stafford, go get it done. Go get your second one, dog. Go get the 1 seed, too. Screw the Bears. And then 3rd seed, Philadelphia. Hey, Philly's going to Philly. They're going to be a playoff team, and they're a gritty-ass playoff team. It'd be hard to go to Philly at any point in the playoffs, which at the 3 seed, they could potentially get 2 playoff games. Maybe not. We'll see how it plays out. But Tampa Bay is the 4 seed. I'm going to sell on those guys. They've kind of slid off. They're 7-5. They could easily be 7-6 after this week. It's interesting to see, but I don't know, Baker, you're playing okay, but your defense is not being able to support. Mike Evans being out hurt a lot of drops last week. Mbuka, Godwin, they need to figure it out before they want to make a playoff run. Seattle, I would buy on Seattle if I was a buyer. If I had money to buy, I'd put it on Seattle. They're probably going to go to the NFC Championship. That'd be pretty freaking cool. Green Bay, yeah, they're pretty good, but I don't know if they have the team to make this playoff run. And I hope they don't. I don't want to see that shit. Like, and if you're a Packer fan, fuck you. Jalen, I saw you comment on this post, on the video. Go Pack, go. Fuck you, fuck you. Okay? I don't want to hear it. Okay? I screw the Packers. Hope they lose. I'm not buying in on them. Probably going to lose money, but whatever. San Francisco, 7th seed. I don't know, man. Like, they're weird. It's just like, feels like Brock Purdy hasn't played, but he has played. You have Mac Jones in there, whatever. It's just shaky. But Christian McCaffrey's starting to play really well. It's starting to be really good for Christian McCaffrey. Drink break. But I would probably not put stake in the 49ers to make a playoff run either. But so, yeah, I'd buy in on the Rams, buy in on the Eagles. Those are probably going to be the big contenders in the NFC. I more than likely see the Rams be the 1 seed, and then the Bears dropping down, probably playing Green Bay, which would be a fun matchup. That'd be fun to see. Another Green Bay versus the Bears matchup. But could easily see Tampa Bay slide out of there and the Lions slide in. With 3 teams in the NFC North, which that'd be interesting. But screw that. I don't want to see that. If the Vikings aren't going to succeed, I don't want to see that shit. So, yeah. But that's kind of the buy and sell I have for that. But I don't know what else to really talk about. It's kind of hard without my buddies here. But we could do something not sports related. If you guys haven't seen that Stranger Things is out, I've been watching it. It's freaking amazing. It's gonna be a huge next couple of weeks in the month here. We got Stranger Things Volume 2 coming out. If you haven't seen it, I'd stop watching the podcast right now because I'm gonna make a prediction. You know, I've read all the theories. But Vecna, bro. Okay, Vecna. This was told by this is a theory, unnamed source, that Vecna might not be the bad guy here. The bad guy might be right in front of us the whole time. And it's Will. Okay, Will's probably the bad guy, which is hard to see. You know, I love Will, but I don't think I think he might turn on everybody. He's got the mind flayer in him. It hasn't been Will this whole time. It's been the mind flayer, freaking sneaking around, being a snake in the woods. So yeah, okay, that's basically my Stranger Things little thing, but yeah, okay. That's basically kind of all I got for you guys. Rambled on. I didn't think I could talk for 34 minutes straight. When I had a freaking speech to do in college for 4 minutes, it was panic mode and trying to get to, I'm stuck at 3:59, couldn't get to 4 minutes. But here we are, talking for 34 minutes, and you guys probably turned me off already. But hey, it's okay. Toe tap, still going to the freaking moon, baby. We still freaking going. Wish we could play a game. Yeah. But we can't because my friends have abandoned me. But they'll be back. Okay? They'll be back next week. tune in. Hopefully we can maybe do a little fun one here coming up, maybe a little playoff stream. Did someone say stream? Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Might do a little stream. My brother, Jake, my co-host, just moved into a house, pimping out his man cave in his garage. You could see us doing a little bit of a stream for the boys from the garage. But yeah, we'll see. Other than that, guys, appreciate you for taking your time out of your day to listen. Okay. Obviously, it's still a work in progress. Going to be some different things coming. Just keep supporting the podcast. Okay. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. Go follow us. It helps us out. It's fun to see. Obviously, it might not go anywhere for us to like make money anywhere, but we don't care about that. We wanted to grow our community and maybe chat with some of you guys. I love seeing the comments. I love talking to you guys. People chiming in, sending me messages, how they listen to the pod. That's freaking awesome. That's what we want, you know? And it's really fun to see. But yeah, go follow us, go like it, all of the above. Get that Spotify rate up. Go listen on Spotify. That's kind of our main thing. Go subscribe on YouTube. Remember that we had, it's kind of complicated, but I'll inform you guys, we had to make like a separate YouTube channel from our original one, just from some things that went on. So I had to make a separate YouTube channel. So there's 2 logos of Toe Tap Podcasts. They kind of look the same, but the one is with the lower subscribers right now. We want to get that up. Go subscribe to that one. Get that sucker to the moon. Let's freaking go. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Toe Tap is out of here. Hey.